Many modern online cowboy boot companies advertise like crazy, and it can leave us wondering about the quality of their boots. They're spending more money on story rather than substance. So in this video, I want to share 5 cowboy boot brands that do very little advertising themselves. Maybe they leave it up to their retailers, so you have a good idea where to go if you're searching for your next pair of cowboy boots. Let's get into it.
I'm just here to connect ya, and then I'll be on my way.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig. Welcome back to the channel. I've been making cowboy boot videos for the past 8 years or so, and I've experienced a bunch of different brands, and throughout my entire learning process of having the channel and experiencing so many brands, I've come to recognize that some of these brands that advertise the least are actually the best. Now, I get affiliate commissions and partnerships with pretty much all of the brands on one platform or another. And I can tell you the ones that you see advertised to you the most have the most commissions for content creators like myself. So the big brands that advertise all the time, they have about a 15 to 20% commission rate for the content creator. And I love it when you guys buy boots with my affiliate commission links for those online brands. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to push them too much because some of these brands aren't that great to begin with. If they have that much margin to share with me, then they could make their boots better. That's my opinion anyways. So I also have affiliate commissions with all of the brands in this video as well. But I only make about 5 to 10% on those sales. But I also have promo codes for you to save 10% on all of these as well, where I don't with those bigger brands. So keep that in mind throughout this entire video, and I want to go through and share brands that I've come to know and love for several reasons, and the ones that don't advertise as much as, say, the big guys that you see all the time with all these venture capitalist dollars behind them. I'm not going to do this in any particular order, just whatever boot that I happen to pick up. This is a Finolio boot, so let's start with that. Finolio is based out of Nocona, Texas, and that's where they make all of their boots. Nocona has an awesome history in the cowboy boot world from Nocona Boots that made a ton of different width sizes that basically could fit anybody back in the day. They were purchased by Berkshire Hathaway at one point and then moved all of their production overseas for the most part. Finolio now has all of those lasts and can make all of those sizes for the most part. So they are made here in the USA. They got lots of different size options. If you're a narrow width or a really wide width, Finolio can probably make something for you. They start for a cowhide boot someplace in the mid to high $300 range. And they aren't super traditionally made, but they do have a lot of traditionally made aspects to them. In my rankings, they regularly score between an 18 to 20 out of 25 points. And if you want to see what that means or watch any of those ranking videos, you can see that in different videos that I'll link up at the end screen or in the description below. So definitely higher on the point scale, but not perfect because they do have a cloth rib on the inside here, which is a more modern boot making technique that keeps the welt on there, and then the sole is sewn to the welt. Also on the inside you have a non-removable foam insole, so you do have a little bit of synthetic on the inside, which, you know, if you're looking for a little bit of cushion, Finolio can definitely do that for you, but it's not completely traditionally made. One cool thing about Finolio is that they are one of the only ones that has this Ranch Tough outsole, which is a rubber gum. So it's a rubber outsole, but it doesn't have the traction of a traditional rubber outsole. It more has the traction of a leather outsole, so it's kind of slippy. Maybe that's what you need if you're a cowboy or doing ranch work in the saddle. So you have a lot of durability here, long-lasting outsole, but with the qualities of a leather outsole. Finolio boots, awesome option if you're looking for something that isn't advertised quite a bit, lots of width sizes, and is in the mid to high $300 range for a starter boot. The next brand that never advertises or just leaves it up to their retailers to advertise is Blackjack. Also made right here in the USA, down in El Paso, Texas. And Blackjack was started in the mid-90s when a lot of workers left Lucchese to start their own factory, and they make amazing boots. This is traditionally made through and through. This one here is a bison leather, but the sort of cheapest one that you can get, cowhide, kind of starts in the range of the mid to high 400s. And that's because this is a traditionally made boot through and through. It's very well made, channeled insole for the welt, very little filler in here. It's going to last a really long time. Leather heel counter, hard leather insole in here. The leather outsole is very thick and durable. It's going to take a little bit of time to break in, but they last a very long time for a leather outsole. These boots are incredible and regularly score a 25 out of 25 for me. It's a perfect score. So Blackjack boots made in the USA have a little bit higher of an entry level price point, but man, they're awesome and they'll last you your entire life. The next one that rarely advertises or lets their retailers advertise for them is Hondo boots. Hondo boots started back in 1965, headquartered in El Paso, but their boots have always been made in Mexico. They started out making their boots across the border in Juarez, and then when that business moved to Leon, they moved down to Leon as well. But this is not your ordinary Leon-made boot. This is traditionally made through and through, just like the Blackjack. It's got a channeled welt on the inside, holding that insole on there, and it's a very traditional, make no fillers in here, just leather through and through, leather heel counter, and a hard leather insole in there as well. So Hondos, the bullhide, the basic entry-level boot, starts in the $300 range. Depending on where you get them, they could be just under $300 or they could be just over $300 at the time of this recording. And they regularly score a 23 to a 25 out of 25 for me. Like I said, you can see all the rankings in different videos to understand what that means, but they have a ton of different width sizes, they have a ton of different styles, and it's just a classic, traditional made boot that is made like the old days. So they were around since 1965, making boots with some of the best at the time, Tony Lama, Nakona, all those guys, and they're making them the exact same way that they did back then. And I just did a video about that. Had a Hondo from the 70s come through, compared it to another one, and the only thing that's really different is that they're using machines to stitch the patterns in the top of the boot now, when it used to be done by hand. Everything else is exactly the same. Hondo boots, definitely recommend it if you're in that sort of high 200s to $300 range. Next up is another brand that pretty much leaves advertising to the retailers, and that's the Anderson Bean family of brands. So in that is Anderson Bean, Olathe, Rios of Mercedes, Horsepower Top Hand, and Macy Bean. Horsepower Top Hand and Macy Bean are pretty much the same quality. It's just Macy Bean is mainly marketed to women and Horsepower Top Hand is marketed to men. Then you also have Anderson Bean and Olathe, and Rios of Mercedes is the highest line. So if I was to rank them, the Horsepower Top Hand Macy Bean, which is this one right here, would come in at around 18 points out of 25. The Anderson Bean and Olathe might come in at around 23 out of 25 points, just because it does have a robust heel on those. And the Rios of Mercedes is definitely the highest end brand in that family of brands, and that would get a perfect score of a 25 out of 25, similar to Blackjack. The cool thing about that family of brands is that they have several different price points in each one of those brands. So the Horsepower Top Hand, maybe starting in the mid 200s. These boots are made in Mexico, in Leon, and aren't super traditionally made. They have lots of synthetics on the inside, and a removable foam insole with some composites under that. So not hugely traditionally made. Going to be similar to Tacovas or something like that, right? So this is a much better value though, with a mid $200 price point and more width sizes. They got B widths in addition to D's and double E's as well. Anderson beans, like I said, they come in like 23, low 20s out of 25 points, so still nice boots, but they do have robust leather heels, which is kind of a composite using leather dust and stuff like that to make a heel. They're also starting in like the high 300s to low 400s, made in the USA. Both Anderson Bean and Olathe and Rios or Mercedes is also made in the USA. And like I said, pretty much all traditionally made there, very similar to a Blackjack, 25 out of 25 points for that as well. That's the Anderson Bean family of brands. And the last brand I got for you that doesn't really advertise at all is Cowtown boots. They advertise so little that people are out here wondering if they even exist at all. Google Cowtown boots and you'll see a question, are Cowtown boots real? Well, I'm here to tell you that they are real, and they are made in El Paso, so another US made boot here. In fact, this is probably the cheapest US made boot that you're gonna find in this list. The regular cowhide boots start in the low to mid 200s. Can you believe it? Well, it does have that price for a reason. They cut a lot of corners in the production here, so it's not super traditionally made. You don't have leather in a lot of the places where you'll find leather in other boots. So you got foam insoles in here, not really a leather heel counter on the inside, but they do have several widths, and I mean, at the price point of high 200s for a US made boots, you gotta cut some corners. So you could get a US made boot for cheaper than you could get at Tacovas, and it's pretty much exactly the same quality. Speaking of quality though, just like any of these online brands that advertise a lot, some of the quality assurance can be off. So you could open a box of a pair of Cowtown boots and have it kind of look a little bit funky. Got past the quality assurance. So I've noticed that that's an issue that Cowtown boots has, but for the value, for the price of the boot, I mean, it's tough to hold it against them. You know, they're going to have to increase the price of the boots if they're going to keep an eye on it, which I think they have room to do, honestly. I would like to see a little bit more quality assurance from Cowtown boots, but still, they usually rank around 19 out of 25 points for me, because they do have some extra width sizes, and the value is just ridiculous. The price point is ridiculous for a US made boot. So those are 5 brands that don't advertise very much that I think you should know if you're shopping around for a pair of boots. But I want to give you a bonus, not brand, but a bonus type of boot that can really go a long way with your money. And that's vintage boots on the secondhand marketplace. You can find incredible deals on eBay, Shop Goodwill, Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, things like that. And you might find a dirty cowboy boot that was made back in the day that has very little wear. So, for example, I just found this Tony Lama 6916 boot. This is a lizard wingtip boot made back when Tony Lama was still making boots in El Paso. Picked them up for $31 at shopgoodwill.com. Still have the original outsole, the original heel cap, barely ever worn at all. Cleaned them up, and they look great. So if you're looking for some really good deals on spectacular boots that have only been worn a little bit, maybe if at all, then definitely check out the secondhand marketplace, because the value there is incredible. I'm telling you. And if you want to see more about these Tony Lama 6916 boots, see how I cleaned them up and maybe the review of them, I posted that on my Boots and Ballads Bunkhouse subscription membership platform, where you can get extra content, more access to me, a bunch of extra perks depending on your tier. So head on over to jeremiahcraig.com/membership if you're interested in supporting what I do here online. That's what I got. What are some other brands that I should have mentioned? Let me know in the comments. What cowboy boot brands don't advertise that people should know when they're getting into cowboy boots? Appreciate you guys so much for adding that in the comment section. For everybody coming through, love you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. They put their money where their boots are, with values that are really Lone Star. Send your support near and far, 'cause they put their money where their boots are. Thank you so much for watching today. Why don't you check out this other video up here about cowboy boots? Or I got a music video down here I think you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe up here, and I will see you next time. Have a great one. Peace. Have a good one.